Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another reading vlog. This is my favorite type of content to watch and to make, more so than like sit down style videos. So I hope you guys love reading vlogs too. I am doing the 24-hour readathon, which I've always wanted to do. I've been seeing it for years on BookTube, I feel like, and the content seems to be really popular. However, because of my current lifestyle, life situation, an actual 24-hour readathon just doesn't work out the best for me. I am a mom of 3 boys. They're very busy, they're very chaotic, and I cannot function as a mother if I pull an all-nighter. So we are going to be doing the 24-hour readathon, the timer method, but in the lens of like how many pages / books. We're gonna do page count as well, because obviously I could read like 10 novellas or like 1 super large book. How much can I actually read in 24 hours? So when I'm reading, I will have my timer going, I will check in with you, we'll see how many books we can get through, how many pages I can read in a 24-hour period. In my real life, I imagine this is going to take me about a week to complete. We shall see. Before I continue, if you are new here, hello, my name is Emily. This is MacInnis Mama, where you will find mostly bookish content. I now have both a book talk and a bookstagram. They are linked in my description box. I previously only had a booktube channel, but I have broadened my horizons with other social media platforms, if you will. We're gonna find out how much I can read in 24 hours. I am not the slowest reader. I'm definitely not a fast reader, but I am a distracted reader. My kids are constantly trying to talk to me. My phone will ding and I will get distracted with scrolling, and I know for a fact I'm not going to be the best at starting and stopping the timer when it comes to little distractions like that. I will start and stop the timer when I'm not like actively reading. So we're gonna see like how many pages can I read per hour. Also, if I'm reading something like The Lord of the Rings, that takes me a lot longer per page than something like a rom-com does. I'm just really looking forward to this like bit of a reading experiment for me. I do want to share 4 books that I do hope to get to. One of them specifically you will be seeing in an upcoming reading vlog, so I won't be giving like detailed thoughts about it, but I do want to track like how long it takes for me to read it. So I'm going to share with you my fluid reading plans. These can change. So on top of my little stack here, I have my Kindle. I have 20 books out from Kindle Unlimited. I need to return to my Kindle era. I sense it coming on. I've been wanting to pick this up more and more frequently. The first part of this year, I have been really focusing on my physical TBR, which is a goal of mine, so that's all fine and dandy, but I'm still paying for Kindle Unlimited. So I think I want to read Savage Lover, the 3rd book in the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. That's the one I have my eye on. Another option is There Is No Devil by Sophie Lark. That would complete the duology. So those are kind of my thoughts, but like I said, I have 20 books out from Kindle Unlimited, so I do want to read at least 1 Kindle book in this reading vlog. The next book I'm picking up, so the first one that will be in this reading vlog, is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig, the 2nd book in the Shepherd King duology. I read One Dark Window earlier this year, gave it 4 stars, and really enjoyed it, and everyone seems to love this book even more, so I'm really excited about this. I recently got this for my birthday from my mom, so I don't want it to linger on my TBR for too long, and this will cross a series off my list. So again, another goal of mine. The next book that is due back to the library is Hunted by Darcy Coates. I have never read a Darcy Coates before, and I have been really enjoying thrillers this year. They have been breaking up my reading of other genres, so I wanted to give Darcy Coates a try. She writes thrillers and horrors. I'm not sure exactly which this falls into, but we are following a 22-year-old who goes missing while hiking in the forest. And the tagline at the very bottom, it says, "By that point, it's too late to escape." So I'm really looking forward to that. And the last book I have set aside for this reading vlog so far is Petit Anglais. This you will be seeing in an upcoming reading vlog. So again, I'm not going to be giving too many thoughts on this because that reading vlog won't go up until after this one. But this was my punishment poll for my March TBR, and this is the lowest rated book that I own that's on my physical TBR. So I'm sure you can gather what that reading vlog that is coming is, but I need to read this before the end of March, and because I wanted to film this reading vlog, I thought I could fit it in as well and just track how long it takes me to read it. It's less than 300 pages, but I anticipate that I won't enjoy this book, so I think that's going to slow me down a bit. Are these 4 books enough to read in 24 hours? Am I not going to be able to complete all of these 4? I have no idea, so this is a reading experiment. I'm going to stop rambling. I hope you guys enjoy this reading vlog, and I'm gonna get reading. Hello everyone, checking in on my 24-hour readathon. Like I said, I'm not actually filming this in one consecutive day, but I am tracking my progress. I have now read, I do not have autofocus, so I hope that you can see. I basically have read for 4 hours and 2 minutes. So we have 19 hours and 58 minutes left on the timer. I am reading Two Twisted Crowns, which is the second book in the Shepherd King duology. I have made it to chapter 26, page 188, which is not where I wanted to be. I will say my predictions in the introduction have held true. I am a distracted reader because I have children and I started this on the weekend. So I'm hoping during school days I can make better progress and have less interruptions, because as I thought would happen, I have not been the best at like when my kids "Hey mom" me, or I need a snack, or oops I spilled something, my immediate reaction is not to pause my timer. So there's some flaws in this experiment in that if I read for 4 hours with 0 interruptions and had all the focus in the world, I would be further than 188 pages. But I'm doing the best I can with this reading challenge, and I am loving this more than the first book, which I feel like is the general consensus for this series. The second book in the duology seems to be people's favorite, and I'm having so much fun. We're back in the sinister, misty forest setting, and the plot is moving at a breakneck speed. I'm hoping, I don't really know how it's going to all come together in a neat little bow. Things are kind of crazy right now, and I'm loving it. Like right now, taking into, when I rate books, I try and like, okay, this is a YA fantasy. This is feeling like a 5-star YA fantasy to me. Does it feel like my most favorite fantasy I've ever read? No, but the cat scared me. I'm having a fantastic time. So that's my check-in for this. I probably won't check in again until I've actually finished. How many pages? 430 pages. I'm almost halfway through. We'll see how long it takes me to actually finish this book. Having so much fun. I need to get reading. Hello everyone, checking in. I just realized I don't have any mascara on. Hold please. All right, That is better. I can't believe I did that. I'm checking in because I have finished Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. This crosses a series off of my list. It was 430 pages. I gave this 5 stars. I loved this. This is way better than the first book. Before I give my full review, let me show you where we are at for time. So it took me 9.5 hours to read 430 pages. Not feeling the best about that, but as I mentioned in my check-in, all of my concerns going into this challenge have become valid. Like, my kids are interrupting me, they have the TV going, they're asking questions, or my phone dings too much. But I did gain some ground time wise last night after my kids went to bed. Everything was quiet. I turned the ringer off on my phone, like my personal phone and my work phone, and I just sat on the couch all cozy with a blanket and just read. And that, like, I read through more pages in less time than throughout the day with my children awake, which that's fine. I still want to, obviously I'm still going to read some when my children are awake, but that is going to factor in how slow or fast I'm reading. So 9.5 hours in, one book down, 430 pages. That's about 45 pages per hour, which is much lower than I can read uninterrupted. That just makes sense to me. Next, I have a book due at the library ASAP. It's actually a little bit overdue, but I really want to read it, and I can read through it pretty fast. So I'll be able to return it tomorrow or the next day, and that is Hunted by Darcy Coates. I have not read any Darcy Coates, but Covers with Cassidy has me super intrigued to start picking up some of her work. I actually, when I return this, I have 2 other Darcy Coates to pick up at the library. They're waiting on hold for me, so hopefully I like this. This is a thriller about a 22-year-old named Eileen who goes missing while hiking in a remote forest. 5 days later, her camera is discovered washed downriver containing bizarre photos taken after her disappearance. So I don't know, Darcy Coates, some of her horror-y books are like paranormal type, or is this like a scary man is hunting her? Is there a monster in the woods? Is it ghosts? I have no idea. I'm a big scaredy pants, but this year I've been loving picking up thrillers every once in a while in between, like tossing 1 or 2 in a month, and I think I'm really going to like this. This is just over 400 pages, so it's a bit smaller. It's a thriller, so it's going to be very fast paced. I plan on checking in with you at the halfway mark, like for time. So in 2.5 hours worth of reading, we'll see. I hope to be around the 150 page mark. We will see. Hello, good morning. You're not really high enough, are you? We're just gonna go with it. I started Hunted last night and then read a little bit this morning until I reached the 12-hour mark. So I'm halfway through my 24-hour reading experiment, if you will. This is scaring me a little bit. It is a horror. I am on page 136. I read that in 2.5 hours. Still not quite where I wanted to be, but also an improvement. I think that's over 50 pages an hour, it doesn't really matter. I was flying through this much faster, similarly with Two Twisted Crowns. After the kids went to bed, when I was just reading in silence with zero distractions, this morning I read for probably 45-ish minutes until I got to the 12 hours, and those were slower pages because I needed help with homework. It is a no school day, a PD day, professional development something or other. So yeah, the distractions are that my kids are home today from school. I do want to read like a big chunk of this today. Maybe even finish it. I don't really know why my camera cut me off, but I was saying I am like a third of the way through this book already, and it's going quite quickly. I am still concerned on reading 3 books in this vlog. I just feel like I'm not going fast enough, and this is the long weekend, so distractions will be aplenty, but I'm going to try my best. This does need to be returned to the library. I am enjoying it so far, reading it quickly. It is definitely scary. I read this until midnight last night, and I don't know if that was the best idea because it's kind of creepy to read right before bed. I get scared easily. I get nightmares easily. And this is more like horror-y than thriller-y so far. Hello guys, I have finished another book. I also wanted to share this cute little bookmark that my son made. I finished Hunted by Darcy Coates. I gave this 4 stars, and I have 7 hours left on my timer. I will put up, so I've now read 2 books, how many pages, how much time has gone by, but I feel like I read this much faster than Two Twisted Crowns. I gave this 4 stars. Like I said, I was gripped. I felt like I was reading this faster, like when I could. Again, always being interrupted, that's fine. I really enjoyed this. It was like breakneck speed, very creepy, foresty setting. It was, I can't decide if it's like more horror or more thriller. It's kind of in the middle of the two. Like there were some truly scary and horrific parts, but there was also following the like police force, so there was a bit more of like the mystery detective style bits in this as well. Anyways, I really enjoyed it. It didn't get a full 5-star from me like Two Twisted Crowns. Wouldn't that be amazing if it was 5 stars all around in this vlog? Anyways, it just didn't quite have the 5-star feel, and there was a couple things that like characters did that were just so, I don't know how to explain it, unrealistic maybe, is that, I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but anyways. And I'm hoping to read 1 more book in this reading vlog. I don't know if I will be able to finish it in the 7 hours and maybe start another one. We will just have to see. The book I'm planning on reading, I'm actually pausing this vlog to film, like read a book and film clips for another vlog. I'm filming 4 vlogs at the same time. I hate that I do this to myself all the time, but I need to like pause filming this, even though like the timer is paused as well. I don't know. I'm planning on reading Savage Lover, I believe, in the Brutal Birthright series next, and I feel like that is something I can read in less than 7 hours. So we might even read 3 and a bit books in this reading vlog. I think it's going well so far. I'm happy with my experiment, and I will check in when I have decided on what book to read and I'm a little ways into it. Hey guys, checking in. I have 4 hours left on my timer. So it's been, what, 3 hours since I last checked in. I started Savage Lover by Sophie Lark and I made it 175 pages in 3 hours. And I feel like that is pretty good for me. I am 51% of the way through this book, and I'm feeling like, as I keep saying through this entire video, I am a distracted reader mostly by my children. I just dropped one off at a friend's house. The other two are distracted with video games right now, and I want to finish this book today and finish my last 4 hours today. This has been going on longer than I wanted because I've been picking up other books that are not for this vlog. Made it halfway in 3 hours, meaning I should finish this in 3 hours or less because I want to really focus and pick up the pace, and then hopefully I can get a bit of a ways through a fourth book. I will not be able to finish a fourth book I'll have a little over an hour left on my timer if my estimations are correct, but we'll see if I can start a fourth book to round out how many pages I can read in 24 hours. But I'm feeling pretty good. I want to try this challenge again with fewer distractions, or maybe doing a 24 and 48 style where I really buckle down and read 12 hours per day. Something like that, because I'm really enjoying using the timer. It's just my lifestyle is making this a little bit tricky, but this is the third book in the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. It is an interconnected series, mafia romances, and we are following Camille and Nero. Nero is one of the Gallo brothers. Are they the Irish? Yeah, Irish mafia. And Camille is a mechanic trying to keep her father's shop afloat. So it's kind of like that rich-poor dynamic. We have some drug trafficking situation going on. Camille is entangled with this really shady cop guy. They're not together where I'm at. Obviously, that's not a spoiler. It's a romance book. They're going to end up together. But right now, I don't fully see how they're going to come together and have it be a believable romance. But I am really enjoying this. I have been reading it quickly for me. I keep wanting to be picking this up. It is very entertaining. It's not giving me 5-star feels or anything like that, but it's very entertaining, a fun read so far, and I'm looking forward to continuing this. This and one of my buddy reads I'm doing right now are putting me in a mafia romance mood. They're both kind of mafia, and I like the thrillery, high suspense, and the business maneuverings of mafia as well, interconnected in with these romances. They're just really fun for me to read about. The stakes are always pretty high, not necessarily with the romance always, but within the events that are going on amongst the members of the mafia. I'm having fun. I'm set up in front of my kids' bunk beds. We have a cutie little kitty right here sleeping on a blanket, but I wanted to be away from the noise as much as possible. I have 4 more hours left. I will finish this before I check in again and see how much we have left on the timer. See you when I finish this book. Hello, I just finished Savage Lover by Sophie Lark. I've already shown you the timer, but I'll show you again. I actually finished that. Whoa. Hello? There we go. I actually finished that faster than I thought because Savage Lover actually ended at like the 91% mark, and then after that it's an excerpt of the next book in the Brutal Birthright series, so the ending just kind of snuck up on me. That being said, I am giving this 3 stars. If there's one thing I love reading about in my books, it's a heist plot. And that was in this book, and I loved that part. It was so much fun. However, I didn't fully buy into Camille and Nero's romance. Like, they still just didn't feel super connected to me. Like, I just feel like they went from acquaintances to madly in love with each other too fast. Not that I think that this book was insta love, because we were quite a ways into the book, but I didn't believe the progression in their relationship. I don't know if that makes any sense. I can't quite put my finger on why, but I just didn't feel like I believed their relationship. That's all I can say. Now I have an hour and a half left on my timer, and I have no idea what to pick up next. I have a library book that is due back that would be a series finale. It's a YA fantasy. And then there's another book that I think is similar to Two Twisted Crowns, which I read in this vlog, obviously, that I really want to get to. That's starting a series. So I think I've just talked myself into reading that library book that really needs to go back, and we'll see how many pages I can read of that in an hour and a half. Hey guys, I have officially finished my 24-hour timer. I did wait until this morning to read for my last hour and a half while I was cleaning my kitchen, and I did start The Bronzed Beasts by Roshani Chokshi. This is the third book in the Gilded Wolves trilogy, which is a YA fantasy with a really unique magic system called forging. I really enjoyed the first book, liked the second book less. These are set in like 1800s. The first book is set in Paris. The second book is set in Russia, and in this book they have traveled to Italy, and they involve these quests or heists, or it kind of reminds me a little bit of like Indiana Jones, where they're how do I explain it? They're getting clues leading up to a treasure of some sort in each of these books, and they are a lot of fun. In that 1.5 hours, I actually made it to page 98. Which is crazy to me. I'm like reading this so much faster than I've been reading my other books. So I made it almost 100 pages in about an hour and a half. And that's where I'm going to love you and leave you for this reading vlog. But first, I want to do a quick recap. So as a reminder, the purpose of this reading vlog was to determine how many pages I can read in a 24-hour time period using the timer method. So I paused it whenever I wasn't reading for this reading vlog. I ended up reading 3.25 books because I'm roughly 25% of the way through The Bronzed Beast. It's almost 400 pages long. So I read a total of 1,272 pages, which means I read approximately 53 pages per hour, which is right around where I thought I would land. Once again, I have 3 children, and oftentimes I am constantly being interrupted, and I'm not pausing my timer every single time my children speak to me. And also, that's not realistic. Like, normally, my kids are distracting me or interrupting me while I'm reading day to day. And so I feel like this is a really accurate representation of what I can accomplish. And this was such a fun experiment for me to do, and has actually motivated me, even though this took me like about a week to film like the vlog using the timer. My voice is going. Using the timer, but it actually has encouraged me, like, if I could set aside chunks of time to really focus on reading, which I don't typically do. I usually sprinkle my reading in throughout the day. I can actually accomplish quite a lot. I can actually read a lot of pages, maybe increase the number of books I'm reading each month, which has been really fun. But I'm going to quickly recap the books that I read. We started off on a super high note, though this did take me over 9 hours to read. I believe it took me the longest, right? Anyways, Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick. I gave this 5 stars. It was absolutely incredible. I loved this so much and can't wait to pick up more books like this, which I have 2 that are a similar vibe on my April TBR that I'm really looking forward to. I then read my first Darcy Coates book, which was Hunted. I need to pop in the picture because I've already returned the book to the library, but this was another foresty setting, which I really enjoy, and this was thriller / horror. It was kind of in the middle. I overall really enjoyed it and gave it 4 stars. Then last night I finished Savage Lover by Sophie Lark, and I gave this 3 stars because while I did enjoy it, I read it relatively quickly. I didn't fully buy into the romance here. This is a mafia romance, part of the Brutal Birthright series, and I feel like the mafia vibes were lacking in here compared to the first 2 books in the series. And while, like I said, I found this really enjoyable, if I truly think about the characters we're following in here, I just didn't fully buy their romance. And I can't quite put my finger on why, even still, after sitting on it for a couple of hours. They just, I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. And lastly, of course, the first 100 pages, a little less, 98 pages of The Bronzed Beasts. So I'm really happy that I finally did this style video. If you would like to see me do this again, please do let me know, because I feel like I would love to do this again. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up so that I know, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!